Live from the Clemente Center in Melbourne, it's Florida Tech Panther Volleyball as the Panthers take on the number 4 ranked defending national champion Tampa Spartans on the Florida Tech Digital Network. And a pleasant good afternoon, everyone. Jerry Durney here with you on the Florida Tech Digital Network. Here with you for the second day in a row as the Panthers coming off a tough straight set loss last night to Eckerd. And the challenge gets even taller today against the program that has been the gold standard in this league for decades now in the Tampa Spartans, a team that has dominated the Panthers over the years, and really there's very few programs in the Sunshine State Conference that can't say that in terms of the fact that Tampa just does this to everybody, and they are doing it again this year. They enter today at 13-1 overall on the season. They are 6-1 in SSC play. Their lone loss actually came in league play back on September 17th when they lost a 5-setter at Nova Southeastern. And since then, all the Spartans have done is run off 3 in a row. Now, of course, their schedule's been cut short a little bit due to Hurricane Ian. They were supposed to play Barry last weekend, and that game, of course, was postponed due to Hurricane Ian. They had the week off until last night, and they cruised 3-1 at St. Leo. They have the Panthers today, and then they will travel to Eckerd on Tuesday, who the Panthers took on last night, before everybody heads to Birmingham next weekend for the SSC-GSC crossover. But Tampa is Tampa once again this year, one of the dominant teams, not just in the Sunshine State Conference, but the Southern region, and really all of the country as they enter ranked number 4 in the country. And they are the reigning national champions, and they enter in with quite a talented team. They bring back Claudia Rivera, who was a first-team All-SSC player last year. And they just continue to turn over talent. And, I asked Ashley Crowder before the game, you've had a look at them a couple of times now as the head coach here at Florida Tech, and, of course, had experience with them being an assistant coach at Florida Southern. And I asked her what stands out to you the most that allows them to be this good? And obviously, talent is the talent, but what is it? Like, is there one thing on the court or off that stands out? And she said, this team plays with confidence. And obviously they're good enough to. But, this is a team that's had a target on their back for decades now. I mean, the consistent run of excellence goes back a long time with this team. And they very rarely, if ever, flinch. And that takes a special confidence, and it comes from the top. And, of course, you have the great Chris Kadanak, who has been there and really is the program. This is year number 39 for him in charge in Tampa. 27 conference titles, 35 NCAA tournament appearances, 19 Elite 8 trips, 4 national titles, and 4 other times where they reached the national title game. It's a resume that speaks for itself. Looking at the group today, and Callie Kors, who made the SSC all-freshman team last year, gotten even better in year 2. She leads the Spartans with 144 kills on the season, also has 23 aces, which is near tops in the league. And they have 2 others with already 100 kills on the season. You look at Mackenzie Dufresne, one of their 2 middle blockers, as well as Natalie Perez, a freshman out of Honduras. And maybe the most interesting thing about this Tampa team this year is looking at the lineup today, multiple freshman starters. And it's a younger team in general. Emily No, a sophomore. Tess Schrenger, a freshman. Haley Dillon, a sophomore. Callie Kors, a freshman. Mackenzie Dufresne, a sophomore. They have just 1 upperclassman in today's starting lineup, and that's the kind of confidence that Chris Kadanak has in this team to be able to run out such a young lineup and feel confident in your team. And it tells you with a lot of the youth, this is another Tampa group that's going to have staying power. We'll see how they do once they get to the NCAA tournament this year, but you get the feeling they'll have another long run. For Florida Tech today, uh, talking with Ashley Crowder in pregame today, she said she felt like last night was a flat effort. Started out well, and then in the midst of that first set, felt that Eckerd won a couple of key points at the net, had a couple of big blocks, and she said that really changed the game. She felt, watching from the bench, is that Tech started to play more passive because those can be demoralizing ways to lose points at the net. And, you know, that can get in your head, and maybe you don't play as aggressive at the net and you change your game a little bit. And she said she felt like they were flat from that point onward and felt like they got outworked. And, you know, Ashley Crowder essentially said, hey, look, whatever happens today happens, but she has always said that the most important things are if we work harder than who we're playing and we compete and we have fun, then we did our job. If we win, great. She said usually those three things give you a better chance of winning, but you felt like Florida Tech would be in a better position to win last night, playing an Eckerd team that hadn't played in almost 2 weeks. And really in that first set, it looked like Florida Tech had the better of the play, and then it just changed just like that. And Florida Tech never really were in it outside of that second set where Florida Tech had to make that rally from way back and got within 1 point. And once they couldn't tie it, that felt like the game. But here's a chance for Florida Tech to make a statement today. You know, this is a Tampa team that always gives Florida Tech trouble, but the general belief around the team this year is that this feels like the beginning of something. Now, whether anything monumental comes out of this year, we don't know. But this is a Tampa team that has won in straight sets in each of the last 3 matchups against Tech. So you would love to see Florida Tech be able to push them. You know, whether you win, who's to say? You know, it's a very daunting task when you look at that other side and you see the history. And sometimes the important thing is don't play the uniform. Play them. And things can happen. Health-wise, Florida Tech have just about everybody out today. And the only 2 they lose, of course, Tori Bowerson, who had her ACL surgery earlier this week. Not even here today, but we do know Tori's watching, and we say hello to her. And Josie Keenan unavailable. You see her helping out the team during warm-ups, but will be unable to play today. They're hoping to have her back by the end of the season, but no word there officially just yet. Well, it's just about time for the national anthem, and then we'll have the starting lineup. So we'll step aside for 2 minutes, and then we'll be back with the starting lineups. And then it's time for today's matchup here at the Clemente Center as the Panthers take on the reigning national champions. We'll be back in 2 minutes. This is Panther Volleyball on the Florida Tech Digital Network. Welcome back here at the Clemente Center. Jerry Durney here with you on the Florida Tech Digital Network as we get ready to go between Florida Tech and Tampa. Panthers will not be home for almost 3 weeks after today. They are off until next week. Next Friday and Saturday, they'll be in Hoover, Alabama in the Birmingham area as part of the SSC-GSC crossover. Then they will go on the road to Embry-Riddle on the 18th, at Florida Southern on the 22nd, and then at St. Leo on the 25th. Their next home game will be October the 28th. That'll be a Friday night against Palm Beach Atlantic. Matter of fact, after today, there are just 4 more home games left in the season. They'll have PBA on the 28th, Barry the next day on October the 29th. Lynn will visit here on November 4th, and then Nova Southeastern the following day on the 5th, and then that's it. That'll be the end of the home schedule in the year for Florida Tech. So here is the starting lineup filled out by Chris Kadanak, who's almost 40 years now at Tampa, one of the very best in the country. Here's how they line up today. Emily No, the sophomore from Cocoa, will serve as the setter. They'll go with 3 outside hitters, and they'll be Tess Schrenger, the freshman from Louisville, Haley Dillon, a sophomore from Evergreen, Colorado, along with Callie Kors, a freshman from St. Petersburg. And the 2 middle blockers will be the sophomore Mackenzie Dufresne and sophomore Tatiana Lyons. Here is the starting lineup this afternoon given to us from Ashley Crowder for the Panthers. A little bit of a different look today. One change to the lineup in general. Kenzie Deliker will serve as the setter as usual. Expect to see in the middle, it'll be Devin Glassgold along with Hope Demarest. The outside hitters, Katie Erdman as usual, and Ashley Rance will step in today for Lexi Leaguer. One late change, Kayla Maston steps out of the lineup, and we will see Courtney Capper, who will serve as the defensive specialist. And, of course, Panthers will need all the defensive help they can get today against this excellent Tampa team. And, as always, Carrie Bogan will serve as the libero. So there are your starting lineups this afternoon for the Panthers and Spartans. So these two teams get ready to do it here at the Clemente Center. Quick look around the SSC today. Games around the league last night. I mentioned Tampa beat St. Leo in 4 sets. Lynn beat Rowan in straight sets. Barry took a straight set win from Florida Southern, and Nova Southeastern triumphed over Embry-Riddle in 5 sets. The schedule this afternoon, everybody just about to start. Lynn is hosting Embry-Riddle. Eckerd is at St. Leo. Palm Beach Atlantic is hosting Florida Southern, and Nova Southeastern will host Rollins. Tampa, the number 4 team in the country. The only teams ahead of them, Concordia St. Paul, MSU Denver, and Wayne State. Of course, last December, Tampa took their 4th national championship. They won it at home against Washburn. Panthers wearing their crimson uniforms today. Crimson uniform top with the white lettering and numbering with a touch of black and the white trim down the sides. Tampa wearing their whites with black lettering and numbering and the red as they'll make their one pregame substitution as Claudia Rivera will come in, replacing Tatiana Lyons. We are ready to go. Tampa won the coin toss. They will serve first, and it'll be Emily No, the sophomore from Cocoa here in Brevard County, a product of Holy Trinity Academy, one of the many schools here in Brevard that have had quite a bit of success in recent years. Of course, you think of Merritt Island, who have had multiple state championships. Rockledge has been up there. Melbourne's been up there. Holy Trinity's a team that's made multiple Final Four appearances at their classification in recent decades. Maybe one of the bigger products of them, as the Panthers are on the board first thanks to Katie Erdman. It was a bit of a slow night for Katie last night by her standards. She's had 5 20-kill games this season and had back-to-back 20-kill games. Last night, just 9. She wants to quickly make quick change of that. It'll be Kenzie Deliker to have Florida Tech's opening serve on the day. That's going to be met by Kors. They'll tee up across the way for Dufresne, and that was just wide. Those are close because sometimes you don't always get the correct call. Well, thankfully, Ashley Crowder was right there. I think she would have been able to instantly correct that one. Thankfully, they do get it right. And Tech will serve again at 2-0. Met by Schrenger. They'll hit into the middle, perfectly placed. That froze everyone. And that was Haley Dillon getting the Spartans' first point of the day. And it'll be the freshman Tess Schrenger to serve. Freshman from Louisville. This is a Tampa team from all over. Serve met by Erdman. Deliker. Well, Damaris wanted to try to tip it over and just mistimed the jump. And we are even at 2. Schrenger this year with 98 kills and has 11 aces, one of 3 in double digits on this Tampa team. She'll jump, met by Erdman, and that took a wide angle, and she immediately points to say that one's on me as Deliker couldn't get there, and Tampa have their first lead. Well, the key is to keep it close. Tampa's one of those teams you don't want to try to play uphill against Tampa. They tee up Erdman, and they have the duo at the net there of Haley Dillon and Mackenzie Dufresne. Dufresne's a good one. Give you an idea of just how good this Tampa team is. They had 4 All-Americans last year. 3 of them graduated, and they're 13-1. Claudia Rivera, the lone returning All-American. I say lone. What a privilege. And she'll meet the attack there from Erdman. They play it across the way. It hits off 2 Panther hands. And it'll be a kill for Callie Coors. One of the few locals on the Tampa roster. Not too far away and from St. Petersburg. Erdman meets the serve. Deliker teeing up Katie. And had a similar situation there to Demarest. Was going to try to play it off speed there and just didn't get enough on it. And just like that, Tampa has ran off 6 straight. That's what they do. Erdman for Deliker, and it's going to be Demarest. And that took a hit off the net and then off another Spartan. And that had some extra velocity there. I don't think Deliker hit that the way she wanted to, and it took a bit of a sail over Kayla Maston. And Ashley Crowder wants a timeout, and we'll take it with her here early in the first set. It's Tampa 7, Florida Tech 2. We'll be right back on the Florida Tech Digital Network.
Institute of Technology is building a new bridge for the Space Coast, the Health Sciences Research Center, a bridge between engineering and anatomy, math and medicine, software and soft tissue.
The healthcare industry depends on scientific advancement and innovation, and that's why having Florida Tech here on the Space Coast is so valuable.
The best place to put the Florida Institute of Technology is the Space Coast here in Melbourne, Florida.
Our work and your health go hand in hand. Florida Tech stands for biomedical engineering and health sciences. Florida Tech stands for the Space Coast.
We are back here at the Clemente Center. Tampa already leading 7-2 early in the first set. Interestingly enough, amongst SSC teams, Tampa has the 3rd lowest kill total at 656. And they're still winning, which tells you that they can force teams into a lot of errors. They tee up here for Erdman, and it's that duo again of Coors and Mackenzie Dufresne, and make that 8 straight for the Spartans. As Schrenger, a product of Sacred Heart Academy High School in Louisville, had 1,000 career kills. There's Maston as, well, for a moment, Tech might have had a point. Played across the way, and a violation there. It's going to be on Florida Tech. And make that 9-2 now to the Spartans. And that one caught Erdman the wrong way and make that 10 straight now for Tampa. And Schrenger just absolutely killing it from the serve position and came in with 11 aces. Deliker setting up Damaris with the touch, and it'll be met by Schrenger. They'll play it back across the way. And that was a tough one for Bogan to play, and then Erdman couldn't quite react, although it would have been an almost impossible play to make. And the hits just keep on coming. And the Spartans rolling early. They play to Erdman over on the left. Deliker back for Erdman across the way. Kept in play by Emily No. Across the way it goes, and did that stay in? They reversed the call late. Thought initially that was going to be a point for Florida Tech, but they change it late. And it's another kill for Coors, and Tampa just absolutely dominating right now. Another tough one for Erdman. Deliker just does get there. Damaris keeps it in play. Noble look to set up another and does. And that'll be Dufresne on the kill. And we'll see Lexi Leaguer coming in to replace Katie Erdman. Not often you see Katie Erdman come out. But I think Ashley Crowder just going to try for a different look right now, as Tampa have ran off 13 consecutive points. Tampa right now with a attack percentage of 75. You don't need to be a math major to know that's good. And the Panthers finally break it through Hope Demarest. That one hit off the hands. I believe that was off Haley Dillon. And Lexi Leaguer will serve, with the Panthers trailing by 10. Served to be met by Schrenger. They played across the way for Dillon. And that was either off Demarest or Rance. And Tampa immediately win the serve back, as Rivera will come off for Tatiana Lyons. And serving will be Mackenzie Dufresne, the sophomore from Tarpon Springs. Another nearby product to Tampa is, I think that hit either Demarest or Leaguer. And Ashley Crowder wants another timeout, and we'll take it with her. Here in the first set, it has been all Spartans so far, 15-3. We'll be right back. This is Panther Volleyball on the Florida Tech Digital Network. We are back on the Florida Tech Digital Network. Tampa dominating this first set so far, 15-3. Taking a quick look at the SSC standings as we enter play today. Berrien is a game up on Tampa. They are even in the loss column, but the Bucks are 8-1. Tampa is 6-1 in league play. Behind them is Lynn at 6-2. Nova Southeastern and Embry-Riddle tied for fourth at both 4-4. Tied for sixth are Eckerd and Florida Southern at 3-4. The Panthers and Palm Beach Atlantic tied for eighth at 3-5, followed by Rollins at 2-6 and St. Leo at 1-7. It's a couple scoring updates in a moment as Deliker teeing up Ashley Rance across the way. Maston keeps it alive at the net. Deliker will reset it for Lexi Leaguer. Meeting it will be Dufresne. Trouble at the net for Tampa, but they just do get it over. Setting up again is Rance. And Tampa can't keep that one alive despite the very best efforts there of Emily No. A point for Florida Tech at 15-4, and it'll be Carrie Bogan to serve. Bogan last night, 9 digs, and also had a service ace and 3 assists. Been a valuable addition to the roster this year, and a young roster that'll look to continue to grow throughout the year. As that one was long from Callie Coors, just beyond the end line. And that'll keep it in play for Florida Tech at 15-5. They will continue to serve. Maston and Leaguer at the net. Joining them is Rance. Coors, Bogan has to dive to get to that one. Deliker setting up Devin Glassgold, and that will be just beyond the reach of Schrenger. That's a kill for Devin Glassgold. First action we've seen for her today. For Devin Glassgold, that is kill number 83 on the year. Tell you what, you hit triple digits as a freshman. That's a pretty good year to have. And Devin slowly but surely closing in on that as Bogan's serve doesn't quite reach the net. 16-6 will be the score. We'll see a couple of substitutions here for Tampa. Natalie Perez and Zoe Seppet will enter the lineup, and we'll see Seppet for the first time, sophomore from Shorewood, Illinois. I believe we got the baseball team here today, and I'll tell you what, I think they helped out there. I think we can credit them with an assist on the service error by Tampa, as Courtney Capper will re-enter to serve. Capper on the leap, met by Schrenger. They'll tee up Kors, and a great effort from Bogan. Deliker teeing up Glassgold. Boy, and the vision to see that. That is not easy because they had two at the net, not far off from her. You got to look to see where you are. You got to look for the ball, and you got to look to find a spot. Devin Glassgold could not have played that better. Tremendous vision from the freshman. Met by Rivera. They tee up across the way. Bogan can't get to that one, and it'll be a kill for Natalie Perez, the freshman from Honduras, and that'll set up Callie Kors. Kors, a sophomore from St. Petersburg, made the all-conference team last year as a freshman, also made the freshman team. Trouble across the way, and did that stay out? It did. Good job by the Panthers along the line there. Your first instinct always is to play the ball, but alertly saw the angle and let that go. It is 17-9. Ashley Rance to serve for the first time today. Schrenger at the net. They'll play it back to her. Behind them is Capper. Deliker playing it back over for Leaguer. And Lexi Leaguer had the Spartans in the torture rack on that one. And just like that, it's 17-10. And ever since that 13-0 run, Florida Tech have gone on an 8-4 spurt themselves. And Rance's serve doesn't quite have enough verticality there. Tampa will retake the serve at 18-10, and we will see Claudia Rivera, senior from Garabo, Puerto Rico. I mentioned she is the one returning All-America from last year's team. Punches this one over. Bogan, Kenzie, and now Glassgold. What an effort. That was a fantastic effort, and the Spartans might get this back over, and they do. And that's why they are who they are. There's Leaguer, and it's too long. If it's almost anybody else that Florida Tech would be playing, that's a point for Florida Tech. To steal the internet terminology, the Spartans are just built different. I don't know how many other teams would have been able to salvage that. Deliker setting up Glassgold. They won't get to that one. Devin Glassgold having herself a first set here. Not intimidated, and for Devin, that's her third kill. And that's leading the way for Florida Tech. That's actually tied for the most between both teams. Both Dillon and Kors each have 3. So I'd like to see that from the freshman, and great effort there from Rance. Tough one for Leaguer, and it falls. The duo there of Perez and Dufresne, a couple of 6-footers with skill, and it's a lot. Irving will be Emily No. She stays on the ground for this one, and it'll clear. It's met by Capper. They play it across the way for Leaguer. No will meet it, setting up Rivera. Great two-hand effort there by Bogan. Rance will hurry over to get to it. Hope Damaris is just going to get it back over the net, allow Florida Tech to reset. This is Dillon. What an effort from Capper, but it was well out of bounds. Not a whole lot Courtney could have done. She just needed to get to it. And I think the velocity on the ball coming back kind of led to that result. Emily No last year as a freshman, second on the team in assists. For a national champion, that's pretty impressive, as Damaris had the right idea, was just a bit long, and it's now 22-11. She had 10 double-doubles last year, including 25 and 15 against Eckerd last season, and actually had double-digit assists in 13 straight matches. Not easy as a freshman to come in and do that for a team that wins a national championship. So you can tell she is going to be a fixture on this Tampa team for at least 2 more years. The Spartans now lead 23-11. Sends this one met by Capper. Deliker looking to set up Demarest. And how big have Schrenger and Dufresne been this first set here? That is now 4 blocks by Tampa in the first set. And I got to say, feels like it should be more. No serve met by Capper. Deliker there. Teeing up Lexi Leaguer. Rivera is there. It's a duel at the net. Stays up. Demarest keeps her head. Kenzie teeing up Rance from the back. And that'll be an attack error on Dufresne, and Florida Tech will remain alive in the set for the time being. Capper will come off for Maston, and Kenzie Deliker will serve. Kenzie already with 7 assists here in the first set, and actually make that 8 off the last one, which is going to be a kill given to Ashley Rance. Schrenger, no, back to Schrenger. And that was a tough one for Rance to play, and that will wrap up the first set. And as a wise man once said, well, the Spartans are who we thought they were. Is what that first set was, and they take it 25-12. So we'll take about a 2.5-minute break, and then we will be back for the second set with Tampa now leading 1-0. We'll be back. This is Panther Volleyball on the Florida Tech Digital Network.
Institute of Technology, a university built upon discovery, driven by innovation, and focused on the future. Known for what we do best, high-tech, hands-on education with a global impact. Rigorous research that advances the state-of-the-art, expands human knowledge, and inspires future generations. Florida Tech, a community of learners united in the relentless pursuit of greatness.
Welcome back on the Florida Tech Digital Network. Jerry Durney here with you at the Clemente Center. Tampa taking the first set 25-12. Looking at the stats, Tampa 11 kills on 19 attacks and just 3 errors. That's an attack percentage of 42.1. The Panthers had 8 kills, 7 errors on 29 attacks. That's an attack percentage of .34. Panthers had 8 set assists there in that first set. Tampa with 11. Panthers actually had 4 digs. Tampa with 9. Spartans also with 3 service aces. Panthers did have 2 service errors. Tampa with 1. Tampa also had 4 blocks to the Panthers' none. And like I said, felt like it should have been more. Haley Dillon, the leading attacker in that first set with 4 kills and 2 blocks. Callie Kors had 3. Mackenzie Dufresne with 2. Devin Glassgold leading the way for Florida Tech with 3 kills. Ashley Rance had 2 as well. Hope Demarest, Lexi Leaguer, and Katie Erdman each with 1. Mackenzie Deliker will start the first set, or the second set, I should say. She will serve first. Well, Katie Erdman got taken out halfway through that first set, and I think for Ashley Crowder, it was maybe just to give her a chance to reset. Some trouble at the net there for the Spartans. Florida Tech will reset. Kenzie getting it back up for Erdman. Stringer is there. And that one was perfectly placed. It was Kors who set it up, and it was Tess Stringer who finished it. And Tampa get the first point, and just like that, they're serving. Stringer with her second kill. Also had 2 aces, a dig, and a block in that first set. And a violation against Tampa. The Panthers are on terms as Katie Erdman will serve. Quick look around the league. Lynn taking the first set from Embry-Riddle, 25-9. That's a stunner there. Eckerd leads St. Leo 20-19 in the first set. Florida Southern has taken the first set from Palm Beach Atlantic 25-16. And Rollins leads Nova Southeastern 22-21 in the first set there as Tampa go back in front. And we'll see Mackenzie Dufresne, the sophomore from Tarpon Springs, as Tatiana Lyons re-enters the lineup. Erdman meets it. Deliker teeing up William Musinski, and No was late getting there. And that's what William Musinski does. She provides an instant impact off the bench. She'll make way for Glassgold as Carrie Bogan will serve. Bogan will leap, and it could be trouble, and did that touch the net? I believe No did, and it'll be an ace for Carrie Bogan. And that is her 14th of the season. The transfer from Wingate, having a very good first season here in Melbourne. Carrie entered today with 270 digs. No, playing it across the way, and Carrie didn't quite have the form she wanted on that one as Stringer will record the kill. And we are tied at 3. Multiple substitutions for the Spartans. We see Perez and Seppet re-enter. And it'll be Zoe Seppet to serve. Seppet actually a transfer from the University of Riverside. And actually was a Big West All-Academic team member last year. As Florida Tech win the point back. Capper comes off, or Capper will be on for Lexi Leager. And we'll see Courtney serve. Courtney with 1 dig in that first set. Leager recording the kill there. That's her third. Courtney with the leap. Rivera there to meet it, and they'll tee it up for Perez. Bogan is there. And an error recorded against Florida Tech. And just like that, we'll see Callie Kors. Kors on the jump. Erdman there to meet it. And there was nobody over by the far side of the net. And that'll be an ace for Kors. Product of Osceola High School in St. Petersburg. Of course, there's also that one in Kissimmee, so that's why we do have to make the differentiation. Third team All-SSC last year, and was a all-freshman member as well with 347 kills, as that one goes wide, and we are tied at 5. Kors last year averaged 3.45 points per set, which ranked her 9th in the conference. Ashley Rance to serve now for Florida Tech. On the jump, into the middle, met by Rivera. They will tee up here for Perez. Erdman and Glassgold are there. And that's going to be a violation on Tampa. And the Panthers are back in front at 6-5. I got to say, I do appreciate the baseball team's energy, but maybe chanting scoreboard at the number 4 team in the country midway through a second set. Maybe a little too much dip on the chip. It's me personally. Just like that, we're tied at 6. I mentioned Chris Kadenak entering this year had a career record of 1,145 and 213. And I'll save you the math. He averages 30 wins a year. I mean, that truly is some all-time stuff. As the Panthers will regain the serve through Katie Erdman. Devin Glassgold doing some work at the net as well. And Devin Glassgold will serve. And the freshman seems to have her confidence back today. And if nothing else, to see Devin playing her best in a while and well timed by Erdman. Tampa were setting up to make their next move, and Katie Erdman said, I'm going to shut that down right now. Katie Erdman back to her best today. By the way, they gave Erdman a block on that prior point. So that was just Katie's second kill, but looks like Katie back in and ready to go. Tried to tip that one over, but Schrenger read it perfectly. This is Perez, and it's Erdman and Musinski again. Katie Erdman turning into quite the threat at the net. You know, you usually see her just set up outside and just attack, but she can play the blocks pretty well too. Last gold serve. And was that one long? No, it hit the corner. Schrenger again. And I got to say, I'm shocked that Schrenger has only 3 kills. That's another one of those. It feels like it should be a lot more. Feels like she's been all over this game as Emily No to serve. Panthers leading 9-7 here in the second set. Erdman meets it, plays it over for Deliker. They'll go back to her, and that goes right through the duo of Dillon and Dufresne. Katie Erdman with her 3rd kill, and it's 10-7. And for what it's worth, ever since Tampa went on that 13-0 run in the first set, Tech look a lot better. Now, Tampa might be better on the whole, but Florida Tech seemed to have grown into this game, and at the very least, playing Tampa to a draw ever since. They just had such a big hole to climb out of there in the first set. It's seen quite the sequence here. Going to be a tough one, and it's still alive. What a job from Deliker, Musinski, and Erdman to play that. And even then, that's what Tampa can do. You can have an effort like that. You can do everything right, and Florida Tech did there. Somehow keeping that alive. They had no business being able to get that back over the net. And then Dufresne just kills it anyway. 10-8 the score with Schrenger serving, who was such a force in that first set. And just a bit of a mistiming there from Dufresne. Florida Tech will get it back at 11-8, and Katie Erdman to serve. I mentioned Katie with 3 kills today. That brings her total on the year to 247. And the serve just a bit long, and Rivera read that perfectly the whole way. Knew she didn't have enough room and figured she'd be better off just letting that go. As Dufresne will serve. Dufresne doesn't even really have to jump as Bogan digs that out. Deliker at the net, tipped over by Ashley Rance. Played back across the way, there's Bogan. Deliker over for Lexi Leaguer, perfectly placed at the free throw line. And the Panthers lead at 12-9 as Musinski will come off for Devin Glassgold. Here's Carrie Bogan to serve. Four aces in this match so far. They all belong to Tampa, and that could have been a service error there by Florida Tech. So that goes off Leaguer out of bounds, so Tampa will regain the serve at 12-10. Panthers' attacking numbers much better here in this second set. It was .34 in the first set. It's 46.7 here in set 2. And they're playing like a much more confident team. They set up Rance into the middle, and there's Rivera doing what an All-America does. Deliker to Bogan, and now Leaguer. And Rivera there again. Just seem to be covering everything. And a great job by Bogan to return that one. And that'll be Coors. Erdman getting there and somehow keeps it in play. And then Rance and Glassgold both tried to make the play. Normally in baseball, that would be a I got it situation. I don't even think there was enough time for either one of them to say it. Say this. it is not for a lack of effort today if the Panthers lose. They are certainly doing everything here today. Great one played there by Schrenger. They tee up Leaguer on the outside. Just is kept in play. They'll tee up Perez, and that'll split Deliker and Erdman, and we are tied. 12-12. Leaguer continuing to lead Florida Tech, by the way, with 4 kills. And for Lexi, that brings her to 107. Erdman meets the serve. Deliker, Glassgold's going to try to kill it. It's met by Rivera. Teeing up on the outside, and that will be wide from Coors. And to the Panther bench, Florida Tech will get it back, leading 13-12 as Leaguer will make way for Courtney Capper. Courtney with 13 service aces entering today, second on the team behind Kenzie Deliker, who's in the top 5 in the SSC. Setting up on the outside, met by Bogan. Not much Deliker could have done if that ball had that much height on it. We're tied at 13. So credit Perez there. This will be Callie Coors. Already with 6 kills and 3 digs on the day, and she does have one of Tampa's 4 service aces. On the jump, met by Bogan. Deliker, and now Glassgold got by 1, still in play, and what a job by Rivera. Deliker going to play Erdman from the back. Rivera there to meet it. They tee it up back across the way for Schrenger, and that'll fall. And Tampa have the lead for the first time at 14-13. It just tells you how tough it is to play against Tampa because Florida Tech's done so well. And yet, got to take some work here. Capper just does keep that in play. Bogan will send it all the way over. What a hit. Play it back over for Perez. Carey can't get to that one. And Tampa starting to flex its muscle in the second set. And Ashley Crowder going to try to stop the bleeding here with a timeout. We'll take it with her. Here in the second set, it's Tampa 15, Florida Tech 13. We'll be back on the Florida Tech.
The Institute of Technology treasures its home near the Indian River Lagoon in Atlantic Ocean. Seawater flows through our veins. Through in-depth marine research, we make waves.
Having Florida Tech as part of our community allows us to do world-class research along the Indian River Lagoon.
The best place to put the Florida Institute of Technology is the Space Coast here in Melbourne, Florida.
Our work and the local environment go hand in hand. Florida Tech stands for marine science and ocean engineering. Florida Tech stands for the space.
Welcome back. Taking a quick look around the SSC. We mentioned Lynn took the first set from Embry-Riddle 25-9. They lead the second set 13-8. Eckerd and St. Leo were 4-4 in the second set after the Tritons won the first. Florida Southern took the first set from Palm Beach Atlantic 25-16. They lead the second set 12-8. And Rollins, after taking the first set away from Nova, leads 7-4 in the second. Deliker teeing up Devin Glassgold, and this could be some trouble for Tampa. Setting up for Coors. Nicely done to deal with the attack by Glassgold. Perez will just tip this over. Bogan for Rance. Through a couple of hands. And Coors is there to clean it up. Setting it over for Perez. That's long. And Capper just pulled her hand away at the very last second. And Tech will serve, trailing by 1. That stops what had been a 3-0 scoring run by Tampa. Ashley Rance with 3 kills today and a dig. Rivera meets the serve. They will tee up Schrenger on the outside, and Bogan can't get to it. And the Spartans looked a little wobbly here, or at least by their standards, here in the second set. And it looks like they may be settled now. 16-14 with Rivera serving. Rivera on the year with 14 kills. One of the best defensive specialists in the conference. Coors meets the effort from Glassgold, and it's Perez again. splitting Capper and Rance. Perez entered the day with 104 kills on the year, and she's only going to add to that. Perez now with 6 on the day, aside for Coors with the most. Deliker setting up Erdman, going to lob this over, and Schrenger kept it alive. It'll be Perez again. Capper there to meet it. Rivera, over it goes for Schrenger, and off the hands of Rance and out of bounds. And that'll make it 18-14 to Tampa. And it just tells you that even when you play well against Tampa, even when they're off, they can still do this. It's a challenge, and it's why they're consistently among the best teams in the country. And I'm not sure what just happened here. They called Florida Tech for a violation, and that serve had never even crossed the net yet. It's going to be a point for Tampa, and that makes it 19-14. Capper meets in. This will be Glassgold, saved by Coors, and Perez had to go all the way out of bounds to keep that in play. Bogan meets it. Deliker for Erdman with the slight tip. Tampa doing good work at the net to keep that in play. Let's see it back over for Rivera, who two-hands it. Deliker back over for Erdman. And a block at the net there, and I believe that was Dufresne who got her hand on it. And it is 20-14. And Tampa can see a second set victory on the horizon. Rivera's serve met by Capper. Deliker across the way for Erdman, off a pair of hands. That's off Rivera. It's over the basket, and Coors keeps it in play, and Rivera gets it back over. Bogan to Deliker. And Erdman's attempt. And a violation against Tampa. And that'll break the stretch of 5 straight by the Spartans. And that'll allow Devin Glassgold to serve. 3 kills and a block today for the freshman out of Jupiter. Glad to have enjoyed that homecoming against Palm Beach Atlantic 2 Saturdays ago. Capper sends this one to the rafters. It's still in play, though. Kenzie for Rance. And that is going to be just past Seppet. And a kill for Ashley Rance. And that is her 4th of the day, and it's a 4-point game. Coors. And they play over for Schrenger, and they caught Rance and Glassgold at a low angle. And a kill for Tess Schrenger, who now has 7. And the Tampa lead is back out to 5, and they'll sub in Emily No to serve. On the floor for Tech, it'll be Deliker, Musinski, Erdman, Capper, Bogan, and Rance. No will serve, met by Capper. Kenzie back over for Katie. Oh, played by Rivera. No, teeing up Schrenger. And a great job by Capper to keep that in play. Erdman could not have placed that any more perfectly. Off speed there, and that just stayed inside the line, and it's 21-17. And Katie Erdman has 5 kills on the day. And that brings her total to 249 on the season. And looking to be the first Panther player in 14 years with consecutive 300-kill seasons. Mayeen Pegarwari and Sasha Gums both did it back in 2007 and 2008. Katie, of course, had 321 last year as Tampa win it back, now leading by 5. Tampa have been dominant in the serve today, as that will be their 6th ace of the day. And that makes plenty of difference, especially in a set like this where it's tight. They've had 3 in each set. So take those aces away. And obviously you still don't know how those points would be won. But take those 3 off the board, and it's a 3-point game. And did they blow that dead? They did, and it's a violation on Tampa. We'll see if that's credited as a kill for Erdman or not. She was the last one to touch for Florida Tech. She'll serve with the Panthers leading 23-18. Rivera setting up here for Dufresne. Great job by Deliker. Bogan setting up Leaguer, and it's just a bit long. Tampa read that perfectly. And now it'll be Mackenzie Dufresne to serve for set point. Panthers much more competitive in this set, but it might be the same result. Erdman is there. Deliker setting up for Rance. And a whistle against Tampa. That'll make it 24-19. Panthers not out of it yet. Musinski will come off. So we see Glass-Gold and Leaguer at the net with Rance behind them. Deliker the setter, and of course Erdman behind her, and Carrie Bogan to serve. Panthers have yet to record an ace today. They could use one now. Schrenger meets it. No. For Coors, kept alive by Deliker. Leaguer is there, and now Rance, and that hit off two Spartan hands, and that'll be a kill for Ashley Rance. It is 24-20. If nothing else, Florida Tech have at least shown, like, you might win, but it won't be a walk either. Nothing else, they have acquitted themselves quite well in this second set. For Ashley Rance, that is her 6th kill of the day. Bogan. They're going to tee up Lions, and that will finish the second set. A much more competitive showing from Florida Tech, but a loss all the same as the Spartans take the second set 25-20, and they now lead 2-0. And this is the longer break of the sets. So we'll be back in about 4 minutes for the third set with the Panthers now trailing by 2. We'll be back. You're watching Panther Volleyball on the Florida Tech Digital Network.
Institute of Technology, a university built upon discovery, driven by innovation, and focused on the future. Known for what we do best, high-tech, hands-on education with a global impact. Rigorous research that advances the state-of-the-art, expands human knowledge, and inspires future generations. Florida Tech, a community of learners united in the relentless pursuit of greatness. Institute of Technology, a university built upon discovery, driven by innovation, and focused on the future. Known for what we do best, high-tech, hands-on education with a global impact. Rigorous research that advances the state-of-the-art, expands human knowledge, and inspires future generations. Florida Tech, a community of learners united in the relentless pursuit of greatness.
Welcome back here on the Florida Tech Digital Network. Panthers trailing 2-0 against the defending national champion Tampa Spartans, but a much more competitive showing in that second set. They lose 25-20. Looking at the stats in that second set for Florida Tech, they had a 32.4 attack percentage, which was a marked improvement from the first. 13 kills in that set. They had a kill percentage of 35.1. Did, however, have maybe the biggest improvement, just one attack error. They had 7 in the first set. That might have just been a case of just, I think sometimes we focus too much on who loses, and sometimes the other team's just really good. Tampa are just really good. There's no shame in dropping that set in that fashion where Florida Tech really made Tampa work for it. We'll see how the third set goes. It'll be Tampa to serve to start, and it'll be Emily No. No with 13 assists and 2 digs so far. She probably has to enjoy coming home for this one. I'm certain has quite a few in the crowd here to see her today. Erdman meets the serve. Deliker playing it over for Lexi Leager, and that'll hit off Dufresne. Rivera there to clean it up. Dufresne will give it another shot, and a nice one-hand effort by Deliker. Leager will give it another shot. Rivera's there again. No, playing it over for Schrenger. Still in the air after the effort by Bogan. Rance over to Leager. Plays it across. No, setting up Dillon. Leager is there, and the call will go to. It'll be a point for Tampa on the violation. And Emily No to serve. A quick look around the SSC scoreboard. Lynn taking the second set from Embry-Riddle, 25-19. So the Knights are up 2-0 there. Erdman looked for the kill, but No was there to meet it. Rivera playing it over for Schrenger. Deliker is there. Bogan. And now Erdman with the touch. And a simple tip there from Katie Erdman. Records her 7th kill of the day, bringing her season total up to 251. Elsewhere in the league, Eckerd leading St. Leo 22-16 in set 2, looking to go up 2-0 there. Palm Beach Atlantic take the second set from Florida Southern, 25-17. So they're at 1 set apiece there. Is Erdman playing over for Rance. Core's there at the back. And now they set up Dillon at the net, and that did touch, I think it was either Musinski or Rance. Tampa now lead 2-1. And Rollins leading Nova Southeastern 23-17. Bit of a shock there. The Tars might be going up 2-0 there against a Nova team that is 10-5. A bit of a shock there, as that will go off the hands of Rivera and out of bounds. Katie Erdman with the kill there, her 8th. She wanted to get back into the double-digit column after it had back-to-back 20-plus games. Had just 6 last night and really has grown into the game. And credit Ashley Crowder. Knew things weren't really working well in that first set. Took her out and just let Katie reset. And really for the rest of this one, she's been back to the Katie Erdman we've seen for most of this season. After the error there by Tampa as they couldn't get it to the net, Panthers will serve, leading 3-2. Bogan served. Did that stay in? It did. It hit the line. And I don't know if Kerry Bogan could have done any better. Tampa thought they were playing the odds there and figured that had to be out. Instead, it's a 4-2 Panther lead on what is their first service ace of the afternoon. All right, that one, I think, caught Schrenger by surprise as well. They play across the way for Coors, and no one ever touched it. And it's out of bounds, and it is 5-2 Florida Tech. I think that one's going to be an error on Tampa. And it's correct. Panthers playing much solid to start this, much more solid at the beginning of the set in each of the last 2. We saw Florida Tech took the first 2 points in the first set, and then Tampa ran off 13 straight. Dufresne will serve here. Dufresne on the day with 4 kills, 4 blocks, a dig, and an ace. Deliker setting up Erdman, and she'll just guide this along. Goes back over for Coors. Rance is there. Deliker at the net for Glassgold, and had to quickly get back up. Nicely played by the freshman. They tee up Dillon, and that was going to be a tough angle for Bogan. And the Spartans are within one. Mackenzie Dufresne, a product of Tarpon Springs High School. He was a two-time captain there. And this her junior year. Tied at 5 now. Had 139 kills and 77 block assists last year. Part of that national championship team for the Spartans. No plays it over. It's Coors. Herdman had to dive to get there, and then Glassgold caught in a tough position. Really couldn't do much with it. And the Spartans have ran off 4 straight and now lead 6-5. Frayne serve. It was a tough one for Erdman. Bogan has to hurry to get to it. Deliker's just going to send it back over. That was a very wicked shot from Callie Coors. And it's a 7-5 Spartan lead. There's only so much prep and so much simulation you can do in practice for a team like this. I don't think it's from a lack of preparation or even a lack of effort from Florida Tech today. As Ashley Rance records the kill, and that is a new season high for her. That is her 7th. Previous high came back on September 8th against Embry-Riddle. She had 6 that night. Here's Capper to serve, and that's just a shade out of bounds. A correct call, but it was very close. And it is now 8-6. Noah and Dillon come off. We'll see Zoe Seppet return. Seppet with 4 digs and 12 assists in this one. Erdman there. Deliker playing it over for Glassgold. Hits the net as well as Coors. Coors going to get another shot, and Erdman's there. And Rance has herself another. That one hit off the hands, I believe, of Tatiana Lyons. It is 8-7. And Rance and Erdman now tied for the team lead in kills. They both have 8. Leaguer with 4, Glassgold with 3, Damaris and Muzinski each with 1. Rance to serve. Stringer just did get there as they tee up Coors. Rance keeps this in play. Deliker setting up Erdman, and it's just long. And Tampa will reclaim the serve at 9-7. Did want to pass along about Hope Damaris, and for folks who are watching, we're glad you are. We're glad you have the capability to do so. For those who don't know, Hope actually is from Lee County, which is where Fort Myers is over on the southwest Florida coast. And, of course, they're still very much reeling from the devastating effects of Hurricane Ian. But Hope's family lives inland, so they're okay. But talked with Ashley Crowder about that yesterday. Wanted to know how everything was going as Erdman records her 9th kill of the day. But Ashley Crowder said that Hope actually went back home to help her parents evacuate. Even though they were inland, they still had to evacuate. But she wanted to help her parents. They had just gotten their power back on Thursday this week. So still a long road to go, but fortunately their house is okay. We're glad to hear that. And if you're watching today, folks, we're glad you're able to do that. It could have been so much worse as Florida Tech have drawn level at 9-9. Of course, we're thinking of everybody along the southwest Florida coast that are still picking up the pieces and will be doing so for quite a while. Kevin Glassgold to serve. That'll be met by J.J. Ramirez. That was a tough one for Glassgold to play. Rance was able to clean it up. Sent long, but out of bounds. And Tampa will retake the lead at 10-9, and Bogan will come back on for Devin Glassgold. A.J. Ramirez making an appearance, sophomore out of Fleming Island, Florida, in the Jacksonville area. And it'll be Rivera to serve. A little bit over to the left. Deliker trying to catch Tampa by surprise. And it's going to be Katie Erdman who does exactly that. And she's got her 11th kill of the afternoon. That'll bring her to 255 on the year. And more importantly, it brings Florida Tech on terms at 10-10. Kenzie Deliker to serve. She's got 24 assists and 6 digs on the afternoon. Ramirez, and trouble as Muzinski hits that with the left hand back over the net, and Tampa kind of froze for a moment, and that's going to be an error on Jenna Vasky, the freshman from Michigan, and the Panthers are in front 11-10. I mean, that ball hung in the air for about 3 or 4 seconds, and everyone on Tampa just kind of stopped. Deliker sends Ramirez back on that one. They're going to try it for Vasky again. Gets to the middle, but Deliker's there. Bogan will play it for Erdman. Still trouble for Tampa. It takes a couple of funny bounces, and it's going to be a kill all the same for Katie Erdman. Katie Erdman back in form today, and they have needed every bit of it to be able to stay in this match, and that is going to be an ace for Florida Tech, their second of the afternoon. It's the first of the day for Kenzie Deliker. It's her 22nd of the season. You mentioned entering the day, she was in the top 5 in the SSC among individuals for service aces. She had slipped back into 6th place as that's into the rafters. Leaguer, calm and composed there, able to get that over to Bogard. This will be Schrenger, and just a bit late for Bogan to get to, and that'll make it 13-11. But we mentioned, and of course, and this isn't counting any other games that are going on, but Kenzie at least would have tied Maria Borgic of Barry for 5th at 22. Marin Black of Lynn, your aces leader, at 27. Kaylee Kors, by the way, was at 23 entering play today, and she's increased that total to 24. So she would have tied Lauren Cummings of Palm Beach Atlantic for 3rd. No to serve this one. There's Muzinski just beyond the reach of no, and it's a 14-11 game. Well, the Panthers played better in the back half of the first set, and then they were even better in the second set, and they look like a much better team in the third set. Will it be enough to get them a set victory and take us to a 4th? We'll see. Deliker playing for Rance, and that spun Rivera around, and we'll see. I don't know if Rance got the kill or if that didn't even reach the net. Either way, Tech now lead by 4, and they get the serve back, and it'll be Erdman, who's got 12 kills, 3 digs, and 2 blocks today, and that one took a funny bounce off Schrenger. Rivera getting it back over to her, and that never reached the net. That'll make it 16-11, and Chris Kadenak wants timeout. A big stretch here for Florida Tech here in this third set, and they're going to rule that as an attack error on Schrenger. Let's take a quick look around the league. They're in the third set. Lynn leading Embry-Riddle 6-0. Looking like they might be on their way to a straight set victory there. Eckerd took the second set from St. Leo, 25-20, so the Tritons are up 2-0 on the Lions. Looking to make it back-to-back days with a win. Palm Beach Atlantic up 10-7 in the third set on Florida Southern. They are even at 1 there. Rollins and Nova just into the third set. And the Tars won the first 2 sets from Nova. What a massive upset that would be if the Tars go to Fort Lauderdale and upset the Sharks. So a long way to go there. We mentioned our next broadcast of Panther Volleyball will be on Friday, October the 28th, when the Palm Beach Atlantic Sailfish come to the Clemente Center. That'll be a 7 p.m. start. Of course, those two played a fantastic game 2 weeks ago down in Palm Beach. The Panthers ultimately won in 5 sets. That was the Panthers' first win in West Palm Beach in almost 19 years. We reemerge. Florida Tech leading 16-11. Katie Erdman to serve. It's met in the middle by Ramirez. No, teeing up Schrenger, and Bogan couldn't quite get there. And the Spartans are able to break serve, and that ends the 3-point scoring run from Florida Tech. Ramirez is off. Kors back in. And Tess Schrenger to serve. And she has been deadly from there today. 3 aces on her own. That accounts for half of Tampa's total. Bogan, Deliker, and now Rance. Blocked by 2 at the net by Tampa. Rance almost falling away gets that over. They'll try it again. Great job by Florida Tech to keep that in play and Bogan to get it over. Spartans will try it again, and Bogan again keeps this in play. Leaguer will get it back over the net. The Spartans will deal with it again. It's Dillon, and I believe that might have hit off the hands of Rance and out of bounds. 16-13. As I've said before, if the Panthers are not victorious today, it will not be a lack of effort. They are selling out and doing everything they can, and they'll get the kill there as that took a wicked hop off of No, and it's 17-13. Musinski will make way for Devin Glassgold. Bogan to serve. She has one of Florida Tech's 2 service aces on the day. And the freshman from Germany to jump. And that got Rivera low. They'll try Dillon, and they get the tip over Rance and Glassgold, and that'll make it 17-14. And you just think, if the Panthers can steal a set here, and I say this knowing full well that it takes a lot to rattle this Tampa team, but you think for just a moment as Leaguer gets the kill there, if you're Tampa and you've played your game for 2 sets and you've done what you've expected to do, and Tech doesn't lay down and say they get this 3rd set here, maybe, just maybe, you plant that a little bit of doubt in their mind of, well, this isn't how this goes. Maybe. You got to get there first, though. As Courtney Capper will serve, and it's met by Schrenger. No, over to Kors, and I think that may have went off the hands of Glassgold. Spartans will earn the serve back at 18-15, and a couple of substitutions as Vasky will re-enter, and so will Zoe Seppet. And it'll be Seppet to reserve. I mentioned Seppet, a transfer from Cal Riverside, product of Manuka Community High School in Shorewood, Illinois. A first-team All-State player, and she actually was an Under Armour All-American. They set it up for Rance, and that hit right on the line and in play. And Ashley Rance, the transfer from Louisiana Monroe, having her best game in a Panther uniform, and what a day to do it. That is her 10th kill of the game to go with 4 digs, and it puts the Panthers back up by 4. Now, if there is one thing that I'm sure Ashley Crowder will emphasize and always does every time I talk with her going into any game or when we talk about any game that they just played, she always is putting an emphasis on serving and wanting to be better, not just serving on their own, but in receiving the opponent's serve as well. But that is their 6th service error on the day. Unfortunately, Katie Erdman erases that. How about that from Katie Erdman, her 13th of the day, and the Panthers lead by 4, and Chris Kadanak will call a 2nd timeout in the set. Boy, we've got a great 3rd set here at the Clemente Center, folks. We'll take a 60-second break, and we'll be back. The Panthers lead by 4 here in the 3rd set on the Panthers Digital Network.
Institute of Technology, a university built upon discovery, driven by innovation, and focused on the future. Known for what we do best, high-tech, hands-on education with a global impact. Rigorous research that advances the state-of-the-art, expands human knowledge, and inspires future generations. Florida Tech, a community of learners united in the relentless pursuit of greatness.
Welcome back at the Clemente Center. Jerry Durney here with you on the Florida Tech Digital Network. Panthers trying to take a set off the number 4 team in the country, the defending national champion Tampa, and they lead 20-16. It'll be Devin Glassgold to serve. Devin today with 3 kills, 2 digs, and a block, and having to do a lot of work at the net. Serve will be met by Schrenger. They play it back to her, and a great effort by Devin just to keep that in play, and an even better one from Capper. Erdman will get it over the net. They were going to tee up Lyons. Nope, they go to Schrenger, and that just does stay in bounds. I thought that was headed out. If it goes about another 2 feet, it's definitely out. Instead, the Spartans will leave it to Claudia Rivera, the All-American, to serve, trailing by 3. Erdman meets it. Deliker over for Katie. Went with the off speed, and that's going to be some trouble, and Ramirez keeps it in play. I don't know how. What an effort. It's going to be Musinski at the net, and instead, Schrenger will get the better of her. I'll tell you what, I think we can expect to see Tess Schrenger's name on the All-SSC list in a little over a month from now. And it wouldn't shock me if we see her on some All-America lists, too. She is a problem. Erdman and Deliker tried to go quick. Tampa were ready for it, though. They tee up Schrenger. Rance is there. Bogan clearing it out, and he'll get it over to Katie. Ramirez there, meeting it at the back. They tee up Schrenger again, and that just caught Bogan the wrong way, and it's a 1-point game, and Ashley Crowder is going to try to stun the momentum. She'll take a timeout herself here in the third set at 20-19. We'll be right back here on FloridaTechSports.com. We are back. 20-19, your score in favor of the Panthers here in the third set. Panthers trying to send this to a fourth. Tampa looking for a straight set victory as Claudia Rivera will serve. Katie Erdman is there. Deliker back to Erdman. And that's exactly what you want to see. You want to see your best players coming up big when you need it. 21-19 to the Panthers as Kenzie Deliker will serve. Capper will make way for Lexi Leaguer. Joined by Musinski, Bogan, and Rance, along with Deliker, who serves. They're going to tee it up across the way for Vasky, and it's too long. An error by the Spartans, and the Panthers need just 3 more. Ashley Crowder talks a lot about volleyball being a momentum sport, and sometimes that can carry you to a set win. Never have we hoped that that's more true than right here. And that's got to be a violation on Oh, wow. Thought that might have been a violation on either side there. Instead, it's going to be a point to the Spartans at 22-20, and Emily No will serve. I thought that might have been on Tampa, but they're going to say Florida Tech reached over. I think that might have been Erdman. Here is Emily No to serve. Erdman there. Deliker has to hurry to set up Lexi Leaguer. That one's in. Oh my goodness. Boy, I really would like to see the officials consult that. That hit the line. That is a very, very tough break against Florida Tech, and it makes the margin 1. I hope we're not talking about this in a couple of minutes. Hopefully it's a footnote. Deliker sets up Leaguer, and that one's long. That one is out, and we're tied. Goodness. Right now it could be 23-20 with Florida Tech potentially serving for the set. Instead, we're tied. Panthers have to dig deep. Bogan is there. Deliker to tee up Erdman. Can she get it? Not quite on that one as Rivera's there to clean it up. They're going to set up Schrenger. Rance, what an effort by Leaguer. Bogan will clear out and she'll send it over, allowing the Panthers to reset. No, setting up for Schrenger again, just beyond the reach of Carrie Bogan. And the Spartans have gone in front, 23-22. And Ashley Crowder will take a timeout of her own. You know, we don't have post-game interviews with Ashley Crowder. You know, we don't have two headsets for these, but I would love to get her thoughts when this is over today. And if this is where it does end for Florida Tech, you can say this. At the very least, 2 out of these 3 sets, they have been eye to eye with Tampa. You know, and when you look at a lot of the recent years, you see a lot of 25-14s, 25-16s, 25-18s, 25-9s. And I bet Tampa were prepared for what they came in for today. You know, I credit Chris Katanak and his staff. You're not that good unless you're consistently prepared. But I bet for a lot of this Tampa team that's been there, done that, they probably looked at the schedule today and thought, okay, Florida Tech, we know what we're going to do. They probably expected a walkthrough. This, even if this ends up being a straight set victory for the Spartans, this was not a walkthrough. And for a Florida Tech team that is trying to work their way up the ladder in the Sunshine State Conference, that's the best place you can start. Is you have to make the Blue Bloods earn it. Well, Tampa's had to earn it today. Can Florida Tech bring it to a 4th set? Rance. Deliker just keeping it alive. Bogan will send it over as the Panthers reset. No, teeing up Coors. Rance can't get there, and it is match point for the Spartans at 24-22, and it'll be set up for Emily No. This has been a 5-0 run by the Spartans as Panthers will clean up a spot on their end. It would be a tough way to lose the set when you're at 22-19, and I think we can start saying you look at 2 very close calls that went Tampa's way. The one at the net and then the kill by Leaguer that looked good from up here. And it could have been 23-20 with Florida Tech serving, needing 2 more points, and instead it went 22-21. Tampa kept the serve, and they're now serving to win the match. Deliker for Erdman. Rivera's there. No, will tee up Dufresne. It's going to be trouble for the Spartans. Erdman very nearly wins the point there, but Rivera doing a great job again. And that will hit off of Leaguer, and that will do it as, boy, Florida Tech thought they had it multiple times there in that sequence, but Tampa able to finish the job. And again, when you're trying to get to that next level, and you look at Eckerd, a team that might not be in the top 3, but they're firmly in that next tier where Florida Tech are trying to get to. I think they've gotten a very good demonstration the last 2 nights of, hey, if you're going to make your way up this league, this is what it looks like. I think Florida Tech played very well here today, even though the scoreboard may say a 3-set win for Tampa. This was not the usual breeze that the Spartans are used to when they come to the Clemente Center, and hopefully it's a sign of things are slowly starting to change, and maybe even looking ahead to 2023, maybe that's a game that Florida Tech can turn around. There's a lot of work to be done between now and then, but I think this Florida Tech team getting better all the time. You get the final stat totals today. Florida Tech had 103 attacks, 36 kills, 14 errors for a hit percentage of 21.4. Now, a lot of that is couched by the rough numbers in that first set. They played a lot better as the match went along. As a matter of fact, you look at their hit percentage in the second set was 32.4. It was 24.3 in the third set. Their kill percentage was 35.1 in the second set, and it was 40.5 in the third set. So they did grow into the game. For Tampa, 45 kills, 13 errors on 95 attempts. That's a 33.7 hit percentage. But if you look at their numbers, overwhelming in the first set, but diminished in each of the next 2 sets. 45 assists by the Spartans, 33 for Florida Tech. And maybe the biggest difference in this game, 6 service errors by the Panthers, just 2 by Tampa. The Spartans had 6 aces. The Panthers had 2. 45 digs by Tampa, 32 for Florida Tech. 6 blocks for Tampa, 2 for Florida Tech. Leading the way for Tampa today, Tess Schrenger, and I hate saying it, a freshman. They got to deal with this for 3 more years. 13 kills, 5 digs, 2 blocks, 3 aces, and an assist. Haley Dillon, a sophomore, 10 kills, 2 blocks, and a dig. Callie Kors, only a sophomore, 9 kills, 6 digs, and a block, and a service ace as well. As I mentioned, 6 service aces for Tampa, and Schrenger had 3 on her own. Natalie Perez in a part-time role today, 6 kills. Mackenzie Dufresne, 5 kills, 4 blocks, a dig, an ace, and an assist. Tatiana Lyons had 2 kills as well. Emily No with 24 assists and 5 digs. Claudia Rivera, you could see why she's an All-American today. 18 digs, 4 assists, and an ace. Zoe Seppet, 15 assists, 5 digs. Looking at Florida Tech, Katie Erdman, back to her usual form, 14 kills, 4 digs, and 2 blocks. Ashley Rance with a season-high 10 kills and 6 digs. Lexi Leager with 6 kills, 2 digs, and an assist. Devin Glassgold with 3 kills, 3 digs, and a block. Lillian Muzinski had 2 kills on the day. Hope Demarest with a kill as well. Kenzie Deliker, 30 more assists today, 8 digs, and an ace. Carrie Bogan with 7 digs, 2 assists, and a service ace as well. And Courtney Capper had 2 digs on the afternoon. So for Tampa, they are now 14-1 on the year. They are 7-1 in SSC play. They will go on the road Tuesday night to Eckerd before everybody goes to the crossover next weekend in Birmingham. For the Panthers, they are now, for the season, 8-9, 3-6 in Sunshine State Conference play. They are off till next weekend. They will play Friday and Saturday in Birmingham at the SSC GSC crossover. I'm told we will get those matchups announced tomorrow. We still don't know who Florida Tech will be playing over the course of that event, but at some point tomorrow that'll be released. Then on Tuesday the 18th, they will be at Embry-Riddle. Then on the 22nd at Florida Southern, at St. Leo on the 25th. And then our next broadcast of Panther Volleyball will be on Friday, October the 28th at 7 p.m. when the Panthers host Palm Beach Atlantic. That'll be a 7 p.m. start. We hope you can join us then. We hope you've enjoyed today's broadcast despite the outcome. My name is Jerry Durney, signing off from the Clemente Center on the campus of Florida Tech in Melbourne, where once again your final this afternoon, it was the 4th-ranked Tampa Spartans winning over the Florida Tech Panthers 3-0, 25-12, 25-20, and 25-22. You've been watching Florida Tech Panther Volleyball, a presentation of the Florida Tech Digital Network. Good evening from Melbourne, and we'll talk to you in about 3 weeks.